And with that, Team 7 bids Tazuna, Inari, and the rest of the village people a super emotional goodbye. As they're leaving, Tazuna comes up with a name for the bridge. The Great Naruto Bridge. A name that people will remember for a long, long time. The following episode opens with Naruto finally back at the Leaf Village and meeting up with his teammates. Soon, Kakashi shows up and Naruto immediately starts demanding harder missions. There's a hidden agenda behind that though. Naruto hates the fact that Sasuke saved his life and wants to do the same so he isn't indebted to him anymore. That's when Sasuke tells Naruto if he wants to repay him, all he has to do is grow stronger than him. While all that's happening, Sakura tries to get some alone time with Sasuke, but, well, he just kinda shuts her down, telling her to practice jutsu instead. That happens way more often than you'd think it would, but she keeps trying.
Let's face it, you're actually worse than Naruto. Worse than Naruto. Worse than Naruto.
That's when Naruto sees what definitely isn't Konohamaru spying on him, but with a twist. This time, he has his friends Moegi and Udon with him too. When all of them see Sakura, they ask Naruto if she's his girlfriend, to which Naruto says yes, and Sakura promptly smacks the taste out of his mouth. When Konohamaru calls her ugly for beating Naruto, she gives him the business too. All of them then run into two shinobi who are clearly not from the Leaf Village. The girl's name is Tamari, and the guy is Konkuro, who has taken offense to Konohamaru bumping into him. He beats him up and threatens to hurt him. Naruto runs in to stop him, but is tripped by Konkuro's jutsu. But just before Konkuro can hit poor Konohamaru, Sasuke throws a rock at him, stopping him. Konkuro's furious, and it looks like he's ready for a fight, until they all hear an unsettling voice telling Konkuro to knock it off. Yeah, that's Gaara. Someone we will come to know very, very well. Meanwhile, back with the Hokage, we get an explanation as to why there are foreign shinobi in the Leaf Village.
We will begin in 1 week.
That's pretty short notice.
Turns out, a week from now, the Leaf Village will be hosting the Chunin exams. Episode 21 begins with Naruto stupidly asking Tamari what in the heck the Chunin exams are, to which Konohamaru very kindly tells him, and us, that it's the exam Genin take to get promoted to the next class of shinobi, i.e. Chunin. Meanwhile, Gaara and Sasuke clearly start seeing each other as worthy opponents, and this may or may not be a foreshadowing for a future fight. Back with the third Hokage, he asks the teacher of the rookie Genins if they want to recommend any students for the exam. All three teachers proceed to recommend each of their 3 students. This includes Kakashi, which really worries Iruka, since he's just not sure if Naruto and the others are ready. Kakashi, in the nicest way possible, tells him to stay out of it. It's his call after all, and he thinks that they're ready.
Every one of them has great promise, but it's too soon. They need more experience before they are tested.
That's when the third Hokage proposes a middle ground, a preliminary test for the Leaf Genin to see who deserves to give the Chunin exams a shot. Later, Kakashi meets up with Team 7 and gives them their invitation to the Chunin exams. Naruto and Sasuke are super hyped for it, but Sakura is having second thoughts. Later that evening, Genin from all the villages start to gather in the Hidden Leaf. The next day, Naruto shows up to play with Konohamaru and his friends when a mysterious shinobi shows up and kidnaps Moegi, Konohamaru's little friend. Meanwhile, Sasuke asks Sakura to go on a walk with him, and she happily agrees. Naruto chases after Konohamaru's friend only to see her being tied up and threatened. The kidnapper makes his demands clear. He wants the Scroll of Sealing, the same one that Naruto learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu from. Back with Sakura, and Sasuke tells her she should give up on the Chunin exams. He says that she's not ready yet. That's when the same shinobi shows up and attacks Sasuke, impaling him with about 1,000 kunai. Yeah, something fishy's going on. Back with Naruto, and he refuses to give the kidnapper what he wants. When he threatens Moegi's life, Naruto laughs it off, because one of his shadow clones already rescued her.
Then I guess you don't care what happens to this girl.
What girl? All I see is 2 dummies, you and the one next to you made of straw.
What?
He then traps the guy in a net, but he manages to escape. Meanwhile, Sakura is crying over Sasuke, or rather, pretending to cry. In reality, she knew this was his genjutsu all along. We also get a glimpse of Sasuke beating on a similar-looking guy. Turns out, that was the preliminary test before the exam. Iruka was the guy in disguise, and all 9 rookies are ready. As the Genin try to get in the classroom, a bunch of bully shinobi are blocking their paths. But it turns out that was just a test too. This is also where we get introduced to Rock Lee, a guy with the worst haircut of all time. We'll get to know him soon enough.
Now Let's see you deal with this!
But all you need to know, for now, is that he really likes Sakura. The next episode opens with Rock Lee challenging Sasuke to a fight? Who does this bowl cut guy think that he is? Well, as Team 7 is about to find out, Rock Lee is him. Naruto takes a crack at Rock Lee first and gets absolutely owned. That's when Sasuke jumps in and Lee gives him the absolute business. Smacking him around like he's some chump. Sasuke is forced to bring out the Sharingan, and Sakura thinks it's a surefire win for Sasuke, but Lee still bodies him. Because Lee isn't using ninjutsu or genjutsu. All he does is taijutsu. In other words, Lee just throws hands, and Sasuke's Sharingan is unable to copy natural talent. Lee is about to unleash his final move on Sasuke, and it looks like he's toast, until they're interrupted by a turtle. Turns out, the turtle belongs to Guy Sensei, Rock Lee's teacher who looks exactly like Lee, or rather, well, the other way around. They're both absolute idiots. It really is one of the funniest things in all of anime.
Now for your punishment.
Guy and Lee leave, but not before he tells Team 7 he's stronger than Kakashi. That's a big claim. We'll see. But before leaving, Lee says he's not even the strongest guy on his own team. That's Neji Hyuga, the guy he entered the tournament to beat. But Sasuke isn't worried. All this loss did was light a fire in his belly. The next episode opens with Team 7 making it to the registration room. There, we get formally introduced to the rest of the rookie genin from the Leaf Village. Shikamaru, smart guy. Choji, fat guy. Hinata, girl who's obsessed with Naruto. Kiba, dog guy. And Shino, bug guy. As they're talking about the Chunin exam, a guy named Kabuto comes up to them. He's basically just there to give them a bunch of exposition, including a little bit of information on Gaara. Keep an eye on him, though. He might be important later on. You'd think rookies would be scared of more experienced genin, but not Naruto. He basically straight up tells everybody that he's not going to lose at all. Yeah, he's a loudmouth.
I haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
The shinobi from the Sound Village overhear Kabuto calling their village small and take offense to this, so they decide to attack. It looks like Kabuto dodged the attacks, but his glasses break, and then he pukes. Looks like the Sound Village shinobi have some dastardly jutsu up their sleeves. But before anything can escalate, the proctor for the exam, Ibiki Morino, shows up. The Chunin exams are here. The following episode picks up with Ibiki telling the Sound Village shinobi to drop their shenanigans or they will be disqualified. Then he tells them the first exam is about to begin, and it's Naruto's worst nightmare. A written test. Ew. Who even writes anymore? Other than the very cool guy who wrote this script. Even worse for Team 7, even a single person failing the test means the whole team would be disqualified. And, no, it gets worse. Because the test is so hard that even Sasuke doesn't understand the questions. But soon he realizes the test isn't about the test at all. It's about cheating without getting caught. After all, no good ninja worth their salt will get caught, right?
Judging from the rhythm, the duration, and the frequency of the strokes.
Across the entire classroom, we're shown shinobi cheating in the most creative ways possible. Sasuke uses Sharingan to copy the movements of somebody who knows the answers. Kiba uses Akamaru, Ino mind controls Sakura to see her answers, and Gaara has a weird kind of sand eye situation. It's not all smooth sailing though. A bunch of people get thrown out for getting caught cheating. While everyone else figures out a way to cheat, Naruto's way too scared to copy Hinata's answers.
It's because I don't want you to have to leave.
So he just wings it. Yeah, it's not looking good. Team 7 might be cooked. Episode 25 opens with the test still going on, and Ibiki reveals the true nature of the test. The 10th question, which is the only question that matters. If you don't choose to answer it, you fail. But if you choose to take it and get it wrong, you can never be a Chunin. How can a proctor be so ruthless? Well, Ibiki is the head of interrogation and torture for the Anbu Black Ops. But even the threat of being a genin forever can't make Naruto quit. He chooses to take the 10th question. And as it turns out, there was no 10th question to begin with. The real thing being tested wasn't their knowledge, it was a test of their ability to gather information discreetly. And a test of determination.
Remarkable. That little outburst has given the others some backbone.
With that, Ibiki congratulates them and sends them on their way. But before they can even blink, something crashes through the window. It's not an enemy though. It's Mitarashi Anko, the proctor for their second Chunin exam. She tells them to show up tomorrow for their second exam and straight up says half of them will fail. Where is the second exam happening? Nowhere serious, just a place called the Forest of Death. Yikes. Episode 27 picks up at the aforementioned Deadly Forest, with Anko scaring the living hell out of Naruto. We also see a shinobi with a weirdly long tongue, and since HR made me promise to behave, I won't make any jokes. Anyway, before going into the forest though, everyone has to sign a consent form, in case they get got. The goal is to come out with 2 scrolls. The catch? Half the teams get 1 scroll and the other half gets the other. So by default, half the teams will be disqualified. The time limit is 5 days, and once you're in the forest, you can't quit. No matter what, you have to survive 5 days. Let me just repeat that in case you missed it. 5 full days for kids in the Forest of Death. If anyone from CPS ever watched Naruto, they'd have a damn heart attack.
Everyone is equally determined to pass, and all of them are my enemies.
So the Genin swap in their consent forms for their scrolls, and 30 minutes later, they're off. The other Genin all plan on targeting the rookies, but as one team falls into Kiba and his team's trap, they soon realize these rookies are not to be messed with. Meanwhile, back with Team 7, Naruto takes a bathroom break. When he comes back, he's immediately assaulted by Sasuke. Why does that happen? Because this Naruto is a fake. The episode then ends with the shinobi transforming back to his real form and attacking Sasuke and Sakura. The second exam has officially begun. The episode opens with Sasuke taking on the imposter Naruto. During the fight, he manages to free Naruto, and they're too much for the faker. Sasuke also tries to stab him with a kunai, but he gets away. To prevent more imposter shenanigans in the future, Sasuke comes up with a secret password to identify his teammates. A really long, complicated password.
You got one a little shorter?
No, Naruto, that's it.
Just then, they get attacked by some enemies. When the dust clears, Sasuke sees Sakura and immediately asks her the password, which she answers perfectly. They then see Naruto and ask him the password. But when he answers it perfectly, Sasuke attacks him. There's no way the real Naruto could remember a password that long. The imposter then reveals his true form. It's the same long-tongued dude from the last episode, and he's really creepy. We then see the real Naruto, who's going through his own problems, being eaten by a big-ass snake. Damn! Back with Sasuke and Sakura, creepy guy immediately pelts them with a sickening genjutsu. It's so bad it even makes Sasuke throw up. It scares the living hell out of him. Sakura is cooked too. She can't even move. The creepy guy moves in and throws a kunai at each of them. But Sasuke manages to break the genjutsu by stabbing himself. He gets Sakura too and makes his escape. Meanwhile, Naruto is making his way to get digested in the snake's stomach. However, this is Naruto we're talking about. He's not going down without a fight. So he makes a bunch of shadow clones and makes the snake explode. Whoa! Speaking of big snakes, one attacks Sakura and Sasuke too. Sasuke manages to kill it, but the same creepy guy emerges from its corpse and goes straight for Sasuke, until Naruto stops him. It was a small break, but Team 7 is back together now, and they have their hands full. The next episode picks up with Team 7 against the weird snake guy, but Sasuke sees what Naruto can't. This guy is so out of their league, so he offers up their scroll in exchange for their safety. Except Naruto isn't having it. Turns out that was the correct call. Snake Dude has no intention of letting them go even after they hand the scroll over. And so the fight begins.
No! Stay away!
Meanwhile, Anko gets some super disturbing news. 3 bodies were found, and upon investigation, they discovered that the bodies belonged to shinobi from the Grass Village. One small problem. There are 3 people with the same faces already competing in the Chunin exams. Anko shudders in fear. She recognizes this jutsu and knows the man that it belongs to. She immediately tells the other shinobi to alert the Hokage and get Anbu Black Ops in the forest. Whoever this guy is, Anko's reaction means that he's seriously dangerous. Back in the forest, Naruto is getting his ass whooped. The snake sends him through a million branches, but then something happens. Just like on the bridge, the Nine Tails chakra starts flowing through Naruto, and he gains an absurd amount of power. He manages to make it back in time to save Sasuke from the snake, before returning the scaredy cat insult from all the way back in episode 6.
Hey kid, you're not hurt, are ya?
But the snake guy realizes the Nine Tails is in Naruto, so he strengthens Naruto's seal, takes the scroll from him, and tosses him aside. Sasuke, meanwhile, is just standing there, paralyzed by fear. But when Sakura calls him a coward, that snaps him back to reality. His Sharingan comes out, and he's finally ready to face Snake Man. Something tells me this isn't gonna end well. The episode starts with Sasuke back in his groove. He's taking on the creepy snake guy and gives him a pretty good fight, including a sick pile driver. Unfortunately, this is just a clone, and he gets ambushed by the real one. Not to worry though, because it was a trap, and creepy Snake Man walked right into it. Looks like Sasuke's got him.